All right, welcome back, Amazon sellers, to another weekly episode here with Hustle Buddies, where we share tools, tips, and advice for Amazon sellers. For today's video, we are going to talk about how to use receipts to fight whatever kind of inauthentic or whatever claim that you are getting on Amazon. We're going to talk about how to annotate them, some tips as far as when you're submitting them, what information Amazon actually needs, and how to go about this process. Let's dive in. Okay, so I'm going to be breaking this down into 4 sections here just to keep everything organized and make sure everyone can follow along. Okay, so first, we're going to talk about how to store and save your receipts. Second, we're going to talk about how to annotate these receipts. Third, we're going to talk about some supporting documents. And fourth, I'm going to talk about, well, what happens if they reject it. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so first and foremost, saving your receipts. There are 2 parts to this. So first, you should be saving a hard copy of all receipts you ever receive. Just make some sort of filing system with like the month and the year, something like that, and just put all your receipts in there. Depending on how large of a seller you are, this could mean just like a shoebox in the corner, or it could mean you have a whole filing cabinet with dates and everything organized, depending on how many receipts you are actually getting in a given month. This is really important that you don't stop here. Because if you have been a seller for a while, if you've been doing these 3, 4, 5 years or longer, I want you to go back and I want you to try to find a receipt from 3 or 4 years ago from, say, a discount store like Burlington Coat Factory or TJ Maxx or Ollie's or Dollar General. And I want you to look at that receipt. Most likely, that receipt is pure white. That is because receipts are made with thermal printers, and that ink, the thermal part of it, will fade over time. So don't just stop at the hard copy. You need to be saving and scanning these digitally immediately. And this should be a part of your general day-to-day process. You go to the store, you buy your stuff, you get home, you scan your receipt. That should just be a part of your natural workflow. It does not need to take a bunch of time if you systemize this correctly. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can scan your receipt. I use a receipt scanner, so we use the Fujitsu ScanSnap. There's like Epsom receipt scanners as well. There's phone apps that can help you with this as well. There's one called SimplyWise that works very well, that will help organize the receipts and make them all searchable. Now, the key part is it needs to be scanned digitally. You need to save it in a format that you can search easily. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're scanning your receipts, call the file name like the date and the store name. So it's like November 11th, Kohl's or whatever, okay? That way it's easily searchable later on. And the other important aspect is it needs to, whatever your system has, it needs to include some form of OCR, optical character recognition. That is where you scan in a picture of something and it's like a picture of words. OCR will turn a picture of words into actual text that your computer can read. That way you can like copy paste. You can use your find functions like Control F to find a specific UPC or name of a product, whatever it is. You want to make sure that your system includes that. So like my Fujitsu ScanSnap, there's a software that comes with it. It's included. I believe the Epsom does as well. SimplyWise has that. It's all built in. Most receipt scanning systems, really anything that calls itself a receipt scanner, is going to come with some sort of system that can turn a picture of text into normal text. That's going to be important later on when you have to find the product. Because when Amazon says, hey, we have an issue with this product from 7 months ago, this inauthentic claim, a customer says this was a fake, you need to prove that it was real. You need to be able to quickly find it. If it's taking you 30 minutes to find a receipt, your system is garbage. Okay, so redo your system. This doesn't have to be hard, but just set your system up correctly to begin with. It needs to be scanned in, needs to be saved as a hard copy, and it needs to be scannable with this OCR. Point number 2. Annotating your receipts. Now, I want to show you guys some examples here. I've pulled some pictures online, so I don't have to give away any of my products or information. These are just pictures of receipts from Google that I've pulled, but I want to show you guys how to annotate your receipts, because I was just talking to someone in our Hustle Buddies Facebook group where they submitted receipts and they were denied, and I said, oh, did you annotate them? And they're like, oh, what do you mean? Like just send it in or write my name on it? Like, no, that's not what I mean. There's a couple specific key features that Amazon is looking for, and you have to realize that the support agents who are looking at your invoices and your receipts, they are like minimum wage overseas workers. Imagine that you are sending this to like a 2nd or a 3rd grader, and make it simple enough and clear enough that a 2nd or a 3rd grader could complete the task of verifying your supplier given your information within about 10 seconds. seconds, because that's about all the time they have to look at your receipt and to either approve or deny it. So let's look at how to annotate a receipt. Okay, so I've pulled this up here in Canva. Canva is a free tool. You can use this online. If you don't have any sort of like PDF editor or anything like that, feel free to use Canva. This is an easy free solution that you can edit your receipts, but we're not changing them. We're not digitally altering them. We're just making notes on them. Okay. So first off, just a prerequisite, I need to mention never, ever, 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 ever mark or write or anything on your original copy of the receipt. That is your clean copy that needs to stay clean, that needs to stay as base. Any markups that you do, any highlighting, anything like that has to be done here. Don't mark up the original. Okay, so let's just say you've got this original receipt. So again, I just pulled this picture off of Google. This is a Walmart receipt. Okay, and let's say that you sold whatever this men's athletics is. Maybe it's some like, I don't know, Nike shoes or something. Okay, this right here is the UPC. Now, stores are going to fall under two categories. There are itemized receipts from itemized stores and non-itemized receipts. That comes down to, is the UPC or exact name of this product listed? So places like Kohl's, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, those are all itemized receipts. Very easy to use those because you just have the receipt and it has the UPC directly on there. You send that to Amazon, you're good to go. There are non-itemized receipts out there as well, which can also be used, but it takes an extra step. Okay, those places would be like Burlington Coat Factory, TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, all of those discount stores, because they do not include the UPC on the receipt, and the receipt usually won't say the product name either. It'll say like men's athletics like this, and it won't ever say like Nike shoe or soccer cleat or anything like that. Okay, when you are itemizing this, there are four main things that Amazon is looking for. They are looking for the contact information for the store, for your supplier contact information, okay? They are looking for your contact information. So that's down here, okay? And I'll explain this in a second. They are looking for the items information and quantities, okay? So for this, they just purchased one, so it's just one. But if there's multiple quantities, you're going to need to highlight that as well. And they are looking for the date of this transaction. They want the date to be within 365 days. Okay, so these are the different portions of this receipt that fulfill each one of those four requirements that Amazon is looking for. It's got your information, it has Walmart's information, it has the product information, and it has the date. Now, you will have to spell this out for Amazon. So I showed here, as if I were sending this to them, this might be how I send it. And again, like I just marked this up in Keepa. Okay, so they've got this like highlighter tool right here that we can use. We can highlight whatever we want. Okay, we can write whatever we want. So I've highlighted things for them and marked, okay, number one, here is the supplier contact information. Okay, and you can even show them their own requirements if you want, like, okay, here's number one, and match it up to the order in which they request things. Okay, here is the product information and the UPC. Okay, and then I also like to add some supporting documents for this as far as matching that ASIN to the UPC. Okay, number three here is my information. Now for this one, for a Walmart receipt, where you get your information from is by using the last four digits of this credit card or debit card. Okay, so the last four digits here were 9689. You could include one of two things. You could either include a picture of your credit card or debit card and just blot out all of the other numbers except for those last four. So you can see the last four and it would have your name as well. Sometimes like I'll hold it up to the camera so there's like my face in the picture as well. So you can either do that, or you can pull up a bank statement online. Again, cross out everything except for those last four digits, but show those last four digits and then show your name and address and all of that stuff. So Amazon can match up these four digits belong to this card and this card belongs to this person, okay? Another way that you can do this is by adding this credit card or debit card to your Amazon account. You can add credit cards to your account in the account information area. So it's not a bad idea to add your whatever credit card you're using to source. It's not a bad idea to add that into your Amazon account so that that's just one more level that they can match up as far as this account and this credit card belong to the same person. And then number four is the transaction date right here. Very simple, very straightforward. Doesn't take a whole lot of explanation, okay? So this is fairly simple with an itemized receipt. With a non-itemized receipt, we have to go through just a few extra steps, okay? So again, I pulled some pictures online from Marshall's. This is sort of what you are going to need to do for every product that you purchase from one of these discount stores. You can still purchase things from these discount stores. You can buy stuff from TJ Maxx and Marshall's and Ollie's and all these places like that. But I strongly recommend that you add this photo to your process, okay? So you buy the products, you take them home, you take a picture of the store tag with the UPC still attached to the product, okay? Now this one was just showing off the price discrepancies here, but the key part here is we are attaching this Marshall's tag, which has all of these numbers, and this is not the UPC, with the product's UPC. This is the product UPC, okay? So I highlighted it here, store number, UPC number. This number right here, this will exist on your receipt. So again, this is one of your supporting documents that you can send along. So you're gonna send this and you're gonna send the receipt, and you can match those two things together because you can show Amazon, hey, the receipt has these random numbers on it. This is what those random numbers represent. So when I say that I purchased 10 units of whatever this 85786 product is, here it is, and here is the UPC attached to it. Okay, and then you can also, further supporting documents, connect this UPC with the ASIN. You can pull this up on Amazon, and the Amazon listing will show you, here's the ASIN, here's the UPC. You can find that just straight on Amazon. There's no workarounds or finagling you have to do. It's right there on the listing, it's not hidden, okay? So do this, do this. Okay, so that is step 3. These are the supporting documents. So things that you can send to Amazon, it's this picture connecting the store tags. It's your bank statement or a picture of your credit card. It's the item ASIN connecting to the item's UPC. So all of those are supporting documents, extra PDFs or JPEGs or whatever that you can send into Amazon to help support your case, because you're trying to make this as simple as possible for them. It's okay to send them this data, but make sure that you're like marking like, okay, number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this, and make sure that you note that when you contact them, like, hey, I've included this, 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 and this. This is where you can find this information. Okay, so make it so simple, make it so like a second or a third grader could find all of this information within 10 seconds. Okay, now phase 4 is what if it gets rejected? Let me show you some tips for this. Okay, so what if it gets rejected? Some more tips. Make sure you're keeping this simple and concise. You don't want to write this giant book because again, they only have a few seconds to approve or deny this. Okay, so keep it simple, keep it concise, and understand, since they only have a few seconds, don't take it personally or don't take it as like an absolute if your receipt gets denied. Okay, next, connect your credit card account with your Amazon account. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier. This just helps build another bridge so they can validate and authenticate that you and that card holder and the Amazon account are all under the same umbrella. They're all under the same company, okay? Another tip, if you are using discount gift cards, or maybe you're shopping at Kohl's and you're using Kohl's Cash or things like that, try to spend like 1 cent or $1, whatever, on your credit card, just so that there is something on that receipt that is connecting you to that receipt. Otherwise, it just says the discount gift cards, and it gets a little bit trickier. I mean, you can technically, you can take a picture of the discount gift card, and then you can go to your discount gift card site and show your purchase, and then connect that to your credit card. But it's a lot of extra steps. It's a lot simpler, easier, and more consistent to just put a little bit on a credit card that you own that can be traced back to you, okay? Tip number 4, and this one sounds a little bit funny, but if it gets rejected, try submitting it again upside down, okay? There are a lot of support agents that have to look at this, but also I feel like a decent amount of it is now done by AI. If you submit a receipt upside down, AI has no idea what that is. And so it just errors out and it sends it off to a human to verify. The human will get it. The human can just flip the file right side up and see what they're looking at. So for me, this is sort of a way to help get past that AI giving me false negatives as far as my receipt goes. Okay, so try submitting it upside down. Try renaming the file or changing the file type. If you submitted a JPEG, try submitting a PDF. If you submitted a PDF, try a different file type, okay? So change the file type and change the file name around, like Walmart invoice 19107 Nate, or whatever, okay? So try renaming your file type and changing the file type and then resubmitting. And then lastly, the most important one is just keep trying. If they reject it the first time, that's fine. I get rejected the first time a lot as well. Submit it again, submit it again, submit it again, okay? Try some of these other tactics. Try flipping it upside down, try renaming the file, submit it again, okay? Keep doing that. I'm not really worried about it until I've submitted it like 4 or 5 times and they're still rejecting it. Then I might look again like, okay, am I missing something? Did I do something wrong? Are they asking for something specific that I'm not aware of? It really takes a few times before I start to think that the fault is on me, okay? So those are your tips. I want to reiterate, yes, Amazon is still okay with arbitrage sellers. If they weren't, this channel wouldn't exist. Our like 60,000 person Facebook group wouldn't exist. None of us would still be sellers if Amazon was not actively okay with arbitrage selling. All of these methods work. We use them frequently. It's getting harder and we're getting a lot more false negatives than we have in the past, but pretty much everything is fightable as far as Amazon is concerned. With enough effort, with enough tries, with enough patience and persistence, you can get through these issues. They are still accepting receipts as proof. In fact, I just saw someone post maybe last week on our Facebook group, hey, Amazon said that they need an invoice. How do I do this with my receipt? And they posted a picture, and in their picture, the letter from Amazon specifically says, please send us your invoice or receipt, blah, 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 blah. And so I just took their own picture, blew it up, highlighted the part that said invoice or receipt, and sent it back to them like, no, they're just fine. Submit your receipt. You're absolutely fine. This is above board. Nothing that we're doing is like some weird gray market area. In fact, in the past, Amazon has even held their own conferences where they have had breakout sessions for arbitrage sellers. Amazon knows that people do this. Amazon is okay that people do this. We make up about 70% of the Amazon catalog as third-party sellers. So of course they're fine with this. If they weren't fine with us, then their business would basically crumble overnight. We are the building blocks of Amazon. We are holding them up, okay? So keep trying, keep being persistent. Let me know if you have any other questions or comments. Put them down below. I'm happy to help as best I can. I could put a couple other resources as well. There's some other good YouTube videos. I've covered pretty much everything, but if you want to hear somebody else say the same thing that I just said, I'll put some links down below to some other follow-up videos that you can watch to hear the same thing and just reiterate how to annotate this receipt, how to submit them, what Amazon is looking for. All right. Hopefully that helps. Go out there, make some money, guys. Be persistent. We'll see you in the next one.